ladies and gents. Harlequin here, and welcome to another episode of HarlequinCasts Company of Heroes. Sorry for shouting at you there. Sometimes I deviate from my intro. Not quite sure why, just in a goofy mood. Anyhow, so today's game for Company of Heroes, we have a lovely looking 1 versus 1 on the map Langres. And as you know, I do like to just kind of appreciate these maps up close at the beginning of everything. We can see lovely farms, and we've got some a little tractor there, some heavy cover piles of hay there. I always found that very interesting. Anyhow, so today's game is also very interesting, and I really enjoyed watching it. And basically, the sort of theme here that kind of piqued my interest when I was first looking at it is that we get to see different openings played off against each other. Not like terribly unusual openings, but just slightly different ones. And I'm always reminded of chess. And how in chess, your opening moves, just based on your couple of minor pieces, how you move your pawns, that sort of thing, can lead to very different late games. And so kind of the theme here is I like to look at what I consider the opening moves to be what units you purchase and in what order, and how you go about using them. So we'll take a look around the map and get used to these players, and then go ahead and jump right into that game and see what's going on here. So on the northern side, controlling the blue pieces, we have Mr. And I knew I was going to have trouble with him. Cheetauzino. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce it, but he did post in the replay. He actually goes by the name Itaperuna, and the results of a 10-second Google search on both of those names led me to the conclusion that the answer is Brazil, Alex Trebek. So I believe there is some commonality there, Itaperuna being a municipality of Brazil, something like that. And, you know, I'm sure I'm not entirely correct, but that's kind of my gist there. Anyhow, he's playing on a different account today, but when I looked him up, Itaperuna was pretty highly ranked in the top 30s or 40s, something like that. Many hundreds of games out there. Great player indeed. His opponent on the other side of the map today, playing as the allies, we have Mr. EuropeMint. EuropeMints are the best mints, of course. If you're looking for minty European goodness, that's where we're at. He does, of course, have the first tag in his name there. I believe that is a clan of some sort. Let's go ahead and get this game started and see what the heck happens here. So, anyhow, just going to be going into the normal build orders here. I suppose I could have unpaused it a little bit earlier than 1 second in, because there's no need to see them come out here and grabbing all these buildings. But anyhow, important to note, there is a barracks going up, and there is a Wehrmacht quarters going up. That is pretty much the most standard thing in the world here. Most normal thing in the world. Nothing unexpected about that whatsoever. Occasionally, you'll see players, like once in a million years, go for something other than a barracks first, like a weapon support center. But usually it's because they put out a bunch of engineers, and it's going to be 4-engineer sniper. Similarly, sometimes you'll see Wehrmacht players, oh god, Germans, I know you cringe every time I say these words. I try my best, but you know, I've got a dumb American accent. Anyhow, sometimes you'll see Wehrmacht players go ahead and you know, try to get a whole bunch of pioneers out first, go for some pile spamming with some late snipers and things like that. But none of that today. Pretty standard looking stuff here. We can see we've got Volksgrenadiers. I've heard the V is more of a soft F kind of sound. Again, my pronunciation terrible. Volksgrenadiers coming out right now, and it looks like we've just got standard kind of rifleman stuff going out there. I'm going to go ahead and swap on up to the mini-map here. It's a little bit more useful early game just to kind of take a look around. You can see fairly standard captures from both players here, just kind of grabbing the stuff right around their base, fuel, ammo, that sort of thing, and grabbing everything out there. Sometimes early game, like the red player could press all the way out and try to grab this munitions point, or the blue player could put a lot of pressure on this munitions point. You could do some cross map battles. That can be pretty effective here, but the thing I really like about this map is that it does have a line of symmetry kind of going right down this way. I don't know how well my mouse shows up there, but more or less, it has a few asymmetric points like this fuel that it looks like his engineer's grabbing right now. But in general, the fun thing about it is that the whole left and right side of it is totally asymmetric. So you get very different battles depending on where you go. And for the time being here, looking at this Volksgrenadier capping the central point, I'm going to start looking at the battlefield. And we can see that the Volks are going for a centralized sort of attack here. So not too much looking at the left or the right. Whereas for the most part, standard caps going on right now for EuropeMint, but he is sending his sort of passive-aggressive engineers on the left and the right, grabbing up fuel right away. So one guy's going towards the center, one guy's going towards the outsides. Eventually, they'll kind of meet in the middle here. Taking a look around at build orders, it looks like we do have a second Volksgrenadier squad out right now, and just kind of getting into some light skirmishing right now. The riflemen have a little bit of a cover advantage right now, as you can see. Yellow cover for these gentlemen, green cover for these gentlemen. It looks like he's trying to just get in behind them and put some extra pressure with those pioneers, but it looks like EuropeMint's not going to have any of that. He saw them coming, focus fired them, they took a casualty, got quite wounded, and now the second squad of riflemen is out on the battlefield, and it looks like the Volksgrenadier is just going to have to retreat away here. So central control is going to go for EuropeMint for the time being. He was just able to brute force on out of that. Though we do have the Volksgrenadiers, the second squad out there as well. So 2 Volks right now with 2 Pioneers, and then 2 Riflemans with 2 Engineers. So a nice little mirror build for the most part. For allies in particular, going for quadruple Riflemen, then some flame engineers and stuff. Very typical opening build order. That's one of the more powerful and standard ways to do it. I can see some nice skirmishing going on right now. Again, the Volksgrenadiers are getting beat up quite a bit here, taking some casualties, only inflicting a few losses here, and it looks like these guys are just going to go ahead and retreat back home, perhaps leading the way for this remaining Rifleman squad to kind of grab what's out there. So just kind of some normal looking skirmishes here, although the most interesting part for me is the fact that there's little or no capture going on in the flanks right now by Mr. Itaperuna. I'm just going to call him that because I know that's his forum name. Again, we can see just kind of playing some footsie here with the early Engineers versus the Pioneers. Pioneers can usually take on Engineers provided that they don't lose too much early game or there isn't a humongous cover disadvantage. Getting backed up by another Pioneer squad will certainly help out, but this one squad's looking kind of low, going to have to retreat back home. All that's looking pretty good. Again, we still have Riflemen out there, and what the hell's going on here? Okay, so we have a Sniper coming out right now for Mr. Itaperuna. So that's actually quite interesting. Typically speaking, when you see Axis players, you will almost always see a machine gunner, then a sniper. Sniper and machine gun is a very powerful combination. They are 2 pieces that play very well off each other. They support each other very fine. This is kind of interesting. He knows his opponent. Normally, a sniper is a response to something. If you get it like this, it would be because his opponent would have a machine gun team, and so he'd say, "Oh, I need a sniper." You don't normally just get snipers against just lots of infantry out there. So that's kind of interesting. We'll see how that's going to go. But for the most part, things are looking pretty neat here. I kind of want to see how that's going to play out right now. Obviously, a sniper backing up a bunch of Volksgrenadiers can be quite good. It is a free kill every shot, so we'll have to see exactly how much he's going to get there. He does have 3 kills already, so he's already doing a fine job. These gentlemen backing off here to get some green cover, and really inflicting quite a lot of losses here. We can see the sniper is keeping his distance this time. Normally, what you want to do is have a cloaked sniper out in front of the machine gun and have the sniper kind of do the firing from within the arc of fire of the machine gun, so they're safe if anybody comes after them. But this way, you actually want to have the Volksgrenadiers out front, kind of covering for the sniper while it sits back and gets free kills. So sniper's already at 5 kills. However, the Riflemen, oh, look at that, there's a 6th kill there. So the Riflemen end up just kind of trading with the Volksgrenadiers in that position, and the sniper comes out on top. So that's kind of interesting. And even more interesting is the fact that he's getting a 2nd sniper. So this is a 2 Volksgrenadier, 2 sniper opening, which I would definitely put in the non-standard category in terms of, it's just not something I often see, but it certainly is very viable. Taking a look around here, I'm going to go ahead and swap on down to EuropeMint's point of view just for a little bit, just to see how he's feeling, how stuff's going on his part. You can see here he does have the 4 Rifleman upgrade. He has upgraded one of his Engineers. Oh, and he just got his Browning automatic rifles finished. So what we have instead coming out of EuropeMint right now is a very, very aggressive early game army from the Allies here. 4 Riflemen with Browning automatic rifles and 2 Engineers, 1 with a flamethrower, really powerful. That flamethrower guy can come stomping around with a blob of Riflemen. The last Engineer can just kind of be relegated to just kind of running around capping stuff on his own, wherever that guy is. I'm not exactly sure where he is for the time being. But you can see just the combined focus fire of these snipers is going to be enough to kind of drive off the Rifleman a little bit here. Getting 2 kills per shot, that'll hurt. I mean, snipers are really good. The only problem is that he has to defend them. Rifleman can definitely focus fire down loose sniper here and there without too much problem. We can see these flamethrower Engineers just kind of moving around, continuing to cap on the left-hand side. Again, it looks like Itaperuna is going to have nice control over the middle for the time being here. Some pretty good-looking mines here, too. That's not bad. Always a good idea to put mines at just kind of random places. They pay off when you least expect it. I never think you have to be too clever with mines. Just, kind of put them in obvious places, and eventually someone will step on them. You rarely see mines not go off, in my experience anyway. So, a good little stall tactic here once again by Itaperuna, and we can see that the double Riflemen here with Browning automatic rifles are flanking around and are just going to, I mean, they're definitely going to win this fight, but this will buy Itaperuna some time if he wants to get his snipers out there. Note, by the way, since he knows that for the time being there is no counter-sniping going on, he is not even trying to cloak. Sorry, I call it cloaking, but, he's not even trying to infiltrate. I'm sorry, he's not even trying to camouflage. Haha! So many different words for the exact same ability across many games there. It looks like, yikes, that one Volksgrenadier just barely getting out of there. And the whole time, these double snipers are just sitting up there in plain sight, sniping away. Taking a look at one's got 10 kills already, and the other one's got 5 kills. So the new guy on the block has got 5, but pretty damn effective. Also, not keeping them camouflaged is going to allow them to be nice and mobile. And bam, bam, look at those double kills right there, right off the bat from the double snipers. Very, very annoying to deal with once the double snipers get on the field right now. Honestly, even getting a Jeep doesn't help him that much because, as you can see, it's not the problem isn't that he can't see them. It's just that he can't get near them. The Volkswagers just need to kind of be a meat shield right there. So anyhow, looking around, though, you can see that this is a nice, slow-rolled build into a motor pool right now. Having the 4 riflemen, the flamethrowers, and again, though, the snipers. Look how good the snipers are. Picking off that flamethrower engineer, picking the other one off, forcing the flamethrowers out of there right away, because that was, of course, doing a good amount of damage here. And now it looks like the Volkswagers finally ran out, but the riflemen still just going to kind of push on up. These guys can back away. Now that they start taking damage, they have to retreat away here. But again, this is a nice slow build. You can see he had time to get his triage center. He had time to get the Browning automatic rifles. Now he's got his supply yard up. Eventually, he's going to get a motor pool up, but no real hurry there. You can see that the Krieg barracks is already up for Itaperuna, which is pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at Itaperuna's point of view, just to kind of see what kind of stuff he's building here. And he's going to be going for grenadiers, which is not a bad idea. If you see Browning automatic rifles out there, you know you have a little bit of leeway. You don't have to expect a fast Greyhound in your base or anything like that. So he's just going to go ahead and get grenadiers. It looks like he wants more infantry to kind of back up his snipers, which is not bad at all. And the nice thing, of course, about grenadiers is that later on they can always pick up some Panzerschrecks and be useful against, early armor or anything like that. So looking around here, I want to try and find out where those snipers went right now. I don't want to lose track of them. So we have 2 snipers right now, again, out in plain sight, inflicting double casualties, but now having to retreat. Now this is the weakness here. Oh, it looks like he is going to go ahead and... He was cloaked for a little bit there, camouflaged for just a little bit, getting back towards his base, but he's probably just going to want to retreat. We'll have to see exactly how that's going to happen, but you can see he is very exposed up. Be careful when you have that red exposed armor with no cover. That's pretty bad. Massive rifleman push, however, coming up through the center right now. You can see the double snipers are just going to hang back in the safety of the base, taking random pot shots here, picking off these engineers, perhaps. But it looks like the grenadiers here are taking quite a bit of damage as well. Things are actually not looking too good for the scenario here. The snipers are just repositioning around a little bit too much. They're not able to get too many kills. There we go, starting to pick off people, but he really needs to start focus firing these engineers. There goes one engineer. The engineers are forced to retreat, and the riflemen are out of there. Oh, and he retreats across the landmine. So that's interesting. Again, the other landmine goes off. Both landmines blew up already here, so that's pretty neat. I'm going to go ahead and take a peek right now onto First EuropeMint's point of view and see, oh, First EuropeMint here. It looks like he already went ahead and got the strafing run, and he got the air reconnaissance. So just having to deal with double snipers on the battlefield seems like that was enough just to kind of force him to consider going for airborne. Not a bad idea, because obviously the air reconnaissance is going to reveal any sort of snipers in the area, and the strafing run is pretty good. It's a very expensive solution, but he definitely has the munitions for it. So I'm keeping an eye out for that, because that's the first thing that I'm going to read when I see an airborne player just kind of that quickly jumping into airborne. Taking a look around, we can see that the riflemen are now moving back in, putting some pressure on some very wounded Volksgrenadiers who are going to have to get away. The victory points, by the way, haven't shifted too much. It's 481 to 404. Victory points not found. And it is just kind of tied here. You can see that it looked like Itaperuna was having some trouble capping that central position here, but he's doing okay for the time being. We can see double snipers right now, one of them retreating home, the other one just kind of hanging out, inflicting some casualties, definitely stalling out and making a pretty good show of it. Over here on the right-hand side, we can see that these engineers, these are the non-flamer engineers, just the kind of passive-aggressive warfare ones, are just continuing to put pressure. Always important throughout all of your games, just to make sure that you constantly have units running around capping. Even just kind of a useless unit like these guys, just kind of put them on capping duty and make sure that they deal with that pretty well here. More towards the south. This is a very important victory, a strategic point, by the way, for the Allies to have. A lot of times putting pressure on this is a good way to get your way into their base, but it looks like he's just going to go ahead and defend that quite well here. Looking up here to the north, we can see that the riflemen are doing their thing as well. Oh, and look at those snipers again. Snipers doing a pretty good job trying to pick these guys off. It looks like just the one sniper for the time being here. I didn't see where the other one went.